Namaste to all. A very, very beautiful, touching story. And of course, it's an imaginary story, but then it's the message in the story is quite deep. I was discussing this story with my family members. As you know, last week my mother in law passed away, and then we were discussing about Jeevatma, death, etc. And this story I was sharing. So I thought of making a short audio video to you. So basically, there used to live a king, and then he had 4 wives, and he will be very happy, and each of the wife will be very happy with the king. And the king is a very honest guy, very strong person, and then he used to take care of public, so everybody loved him a lot. But the only worry he had was he could not get a son or daughter through any of his wives. So suddenly he will meet one rishi, and then he will request his rishi to bless him to get a son or daughter from one of his wife. The rishi will say, okay, fine, you choose which wife you want, and then we will do yagya, and then after the yagya I will give you blessing for sure. In the next 1 year you will get a baby. So they will do yagya, and that means garbhadanam sanskar, and after the sanskar the rishi will bless the couple, and the rishi will say that your wife will deliver a baby after 1 year. You try for the baby, for sure she will deliver, and then the baby will be a male baby. It will be a son, and that son will become the reason for your joy, and he will also become the reason for your sorrow. And then the rishi will go away. So the king will again come into a confusion and a stressful situation, thinking about the blessing. He will ask to the queen that why the rishi blessed like this. Then the queen will say, Maharaj, please listen. It could be like, a parent will be happy when his or her child is behaving properly and obeying the instructions. Probably your son is not going to obey your instructions. We don't know. So do not get worried about the future. Let's handle at that point of time. Let's focus on the present. So they will try for the baby, and in the next 10 months she will deliver a child, and it will be a male child for sure, as per the blessings of the rishi. And the king will become extremely happy, joyous, and then he will start spending time with the family, with the kid, etc. In the meantime, what happens after like 1 year or 1.5 years, the other 3 queen, they will start becoming jealousy, and they will discuss amongst themselves. See, the king is not having any time for any one of us. He is always engaged with the child. So how do I want the king? I love the king so much. I do not want my king to go behind that baby. So one of the queen will say, okay, let us join hands. I also want the same as you want, so let us join hands. Let's destroy that small child. Let's kill him. And once the child gets killed, obviously the king will have to come to us. That's it. So they will plan, and then they will poison the small baby, and the baby will die. I think it will be like 1.5 years, small kid. The baby will die. So on death of the baby, of course it is a very difficult situation. The king will start crying. The king's wife will start crying. So all the public will be there, and then the dead body is there, and the small child's body. The rishi will come again. The king will ask the question to rishi that you gave a blessing to me, and you said that the son will become the reason for my joy as well as sorrow. I could not understand that point of time, but now I am very clear why you are said like that. So my son is no more. I am in a very miserable condition now. Why you are giving this kind of blessing? Why did you give me a child? Then he will say that you asked for a child, I gave it to you, but I just gave the blessing because I knew what is going to happen, so I gave that kind of blessings to you. Then the king will say, the rishi will say, you should not get into this kind of situation, sadness, because there is no relation between body and body. Of course, he was your son. You got attached to your son, but you must do your moral duty as per a parent. That's it. If you are doing moral duty, and if your focus is on tapasya, if your focus is on serving the nation, serving the people, then you would not be in this situation, king. So the rishi will give several advice. At least you start focusing on who you are. Try to do everyday Agnihotra. He will give all that Vedic advices to the king. The king will get angry. King will say that, see, I have lost my son, and my wife she's crying a lot. She's not eating anything, and I'm also not eating anything. You are saying that I must do tapasya. This is not fair. I'm not taking your argument. I don't want to listen to your advice. Then there will be another rishi there. That rishi will say, okay, cool down. What I will do is, I will bring down the Jeevatma. I will invoke with my Yog Shakti, I will invoke the Jeevatma. And then you only let us speak to the Jeevatma to understand. So the other rishi with his yoga power, he will invoke the Jeevatma. Of course, this is an imaginary story. Just see the message. So he will invoke the Jeevatma, and the Jeevatma will come there. So the rishi will ask, see, your parents are crying, your mother is fainted, and your father is crying so much. Why don't you come back to the child's body? So Jeevatma will say, I do not know who is my mother and father. I don't recognize anyone. In fact, I do not have any parents. I am Jeevatma. I am Ajar, Avar, Avinashi. I am Swayambhu. And I have gone through millions of bodies in the past, and I will go through millions of bodies in the future until I attain moksha. So I have so many infinite number of parents. I have infinite number of wife, husband, whichever body I took. If I took a body of a female, I will get a husband. If I take a body of a child, I'll get parents. Like that, I have so many parents in the past, and I will be getting so many parents in the future also. I do not know this. Who is this parent? Why they are crying? Because I am a Jeevatma. I have left based on my own karma, and I will get another body in the next 13th day based on my own karma by the power of Almighty God. So the Jeevatma will say this kind of advice, and Jeevatma will say, see, as long as I am in the body, people think that the body is me. But whereas body is not me, I have come out of the body, and I am the Chetan Tattva. So instead of getting, knowing me, that I am Chetan Tattva, they knew the body only. So there is no use in crying. The Jeevatma will say this kind of knowledge, and then Jeevatma will vanish. Now the Rishi will ask the king, see, this is the reality. You have got attachment with your with the body of your child, and this body is Jed. It is here only. See, it is not moving, it is not doing anything, because Jeevatma has gone away. Because of Jeevatma it was moving. So since you do not have the knowledge that the Jeevatma is eternal, you have thought that the body is eternal, and you have put all your attachment inside in the body, and the body is never permanent. Even if your child is going to live for 100 years, at 100 years he will die, and similarly you will die, similarly I will die, everybody will die. Everybody must leave the body at one point of time. So do not worry about death. Please focus on who you are. Try to understand who you are. You are Jeevatma, and you have come you are in the body of the king, and you must do the duty of the king. You are a husband to your wife, you must do the duty of your husband as a husband. If you have a child, you must do the duty as a father. That's it. Do not get into attachments. Gita also says the same thing. Sri Krishna says that just like every day morning we take bath, and then we change our clothes. Similarly, and when we change the clothes, we throw away the old cloth and for washing, and then we put a new cloth. Similarly, the Jeevatma will throw away its old body, and it will attain a new body in 13 days time. So this cycle will go on and on until the Jeevatma realizes that it is Jeevatma. The Jeevatma realizes that the Paramatma is inside within him, and Paramatma is the creator, until it attains moksha. This is the situation that Jeevatma should go through. So you also must wake up, Rajan. So the Rishi will advise, and then Rishi will go away. So this is a very beautiful story. It's not easy for sure to adopt. Listening stories can never change us, but listening stories can inspire us to go towards the Vedic path. When we go towards the Vedic path, when we go towards Acharya, when we listen the Vedic Dharma, we can understand the same moral of the story, that we are Jeevatma. Let us not get attached to the people who are dead. Yes, they are dead. They were for example, my mother-in-law, my wife's mother. Yes, but when we ask the Jeevatma will say, I had many sons, I had many children, I had many fathers, parents, etc., etc. This is because the Jeevatma do not have. The Jeevatma in the body understands that this is my parent, because the body is donated by the parents, not the Jeevatma. Jeevatma is never born, it will never die. So we must try to understand this deep essence. It's not that somebody is in a dukh, somebody is in a sorrow because of death. It's not that we must tell this story. But if I was sharing this story because I know my wife, other relative, they are Vedic followers, so I can share this kind of story. But we must try to come to a situation that everybody whom we know will die. One day we will also die, but everybody whom we deeply love today will die. And after their death, their body has to be burnt. That's it. And they will not remember that you are crying for them. They will not know that you are crying for them, because that Jeevatma will go into another body. This is the Maya. This is the Maya which we must understand. Once we understand this deeply, not by stories, by tapasya, then only we can come out of this sorrow of the death. Otherwise, we can never escape the sorrow of the death. Thank you so much. Namaste. Om.